Hi there, I'm Richard Lovenberg, acupuncturist and TCM practitioner at Yellow Gazebo in Toronto. I'm also the clinic director. And I have a background in personal training and fitness, and I'd like to share some exercises and stretches with you today to help facilitate preventing low back pain. Now I should point out first of all that if you have low back pain that you're suffering from right now, don't do any of these exercises or stretches if they cause you any pain. Do what's recommended to you by your therapist or by myself to make sure that you don't cause yourself any undue pain. But if you've been given the go-ahead to do some of these stretches and exercises, then these are great for you. Take a look at what I'm wearing. I'm just wearing regular clothes. You may do these stretches and exercises wearing pretty much anything. You can do them in the office if you have a little bit of space, and it only takes a few minutes a day. Well, I would recommend doing most of these stretches and exercises every other day, but some of them you can do every day, and with a lot of convenience. They're very easy to do. Warm up before doing any of them. Check out my link in the info section about how to warm up your body's spheres. And if you want to learn about acupuncture and its approach to treating low back pain and sciatica, I'll put a link there. And finally, a written description on some of these exercises, or most of these exercises as well, will be provided in case you want to read and take a look at a picture. Okay, let's get started. Okay, this first exercise, is a stretch actually. The first stretch is called the standing hamstring stretch. So let's empty our pockets. Okay, we can keep the watch and jewelry on, but let's empty the pockets, okay? So you're going to stand shoulder width apart, nice and relaxed. Reach out and stretch out and down. That feels great. Now, I'm just going to hang here for about 30 to 60 seconds. And while I'm doing that, the cues I want to think of are bending at the hips. So this is where I'm bending from, not here, not down here. I'm bending right from here, and my legs are stretching. My arms can hang down to provide some weight, and my legs will stretch while I bend from there. That's it. That's all you want to think about for 30 to 60 seconds, okay? And now I'm going to come up, slowly roll up, one vertebrae on top of each other, one vertebrae on top of the last, until I get to the top and I feel a strain pull from the top of my head. Okay? Posture is very important. Coming up from this exercise is very important too. Okay, next exercise. Okay, before we move on, I just want to point out how in that first stretch, I said hold it for 30 to 60 seconds. Now, that's one of the few stretches I think should actually be done in that way. And what you'll hear a lot of the time is hold the stretch for that amount of time. I believe in stretching in a different way. There's different names for it. But the way I believe in stretching in most circumstances is to hold that stretch for just 3 to 5 seconds, release, stretch again for 3 to 5 seconds, release. And what you're going to do is actually like you're doing lifting weights. You're going to do a certain amount of repetitions for a certain amount of sets. So for these stretches, I want you to do about 8 to 10 repetitions, about 2 to 3 sets, okay? So let's get started. This first one's called the yoga hamstring stretch, yoga strap hamstring stretch. This is a yoga strap. You can use a towel or a rope. Hook it around the middle of your foot. Stretch that bottom leg out, push out with the heel so it's nice and straight. This leg nice and straight. I'm pulling with a strap, and I'm just going to push up until I can feel a nice stretch and really straighten that leg. Just 3 to 5 seconds. Repeat. Really pull, give a nice gentle pull with that strap till you feel a stretch and release. Don't overstretch it. Make sure that you're just feeling that stretch enough to warm up the leg. Release after 3 to 5 seconds and repeat. Okay, now that your hamstrings are a bit loosened up, let's stretch the hips. This first one is going to stretch the piriformis muscle, which runs somewhat close to the spine under your gluteal muscles. Okay, so your glutes are the big muscles in your hips. The piriformis muscle runs underneath the glutes. So you want to lay back, put one leg over the other, and this is sometimes called threading the needle. Put one hand through the hole you've created, behind that knee. I've got it behind my right knee, but I can actually stretch the left piriformis muscle. I'm pulling my right knee towards my right shoulder, very gently holding 3 to 5 seconds and release. 3 to 5 seconds. You just want to feel that stretch for a few seconds and then release, and then switch legs. Again, 8 to 10 times, 2 to 3 sets. Right? This next one's called a back flexion exercise. Laying on your back, you're going to grasp both knees and pull them towards your shoulders. Not your chest, but pull your knees towards your shoulders. This is going to stretch your low back a little bit, but also your hips. Really important for helping prevent low back pain. All right, let's move on. Another good one for getting your hips nice and flexible is the pelvic tilt hip flexor stretch. Your hip flexors are in the front of your legs. You want to be positioned with one knee down, one knee up, hands on your hips, and you're just going to very gently tilt your pelvis. So you're kind of trying to point your pelvis up, and what that's going to do is that's going to stretch your hip flexor muscle, and it's going to actually also help stretch the low back a little bit. This helps give more curvature to your spine in a way, but most importantly, it's a nice, easy way to stretch your hip flexor muscles that won't hurt. Really good. So do 8 to 10 of those, holding a few seconds at a time, 2 to 3 sets, and again, stop if it hurts. Okay, now I'm going to give you a few exercises that will help strengthen your core. Okay, so the first one is called the Superman. You're going to lay on your stomach, on a bed or on the floor, and you're just going to raise one alternate arm and alternate leg, meaning if my hands are out kind of like I'm a Superman, I'm going to lift my right arm and my left leg, hold for a few seconds, and then down. And then alternate. Left arm, right leg, few seconds, and then down. And then just alternate. 8 to 10 times each side, 2 to 3 sets. What you're doing there is you're strengthening your gluteal muscles, but you're doing them in a cross-planar fashion, meaning you're stretching your glutes, strengthening your glutes, but you're also strengthening other muscles in your back and your legs that might not get worked if you do an exercise focused on just the glutes. So that's a good one. Another exercise that you can do, a good one for your abs. You may have heard that preventing low back pain is great when you strengthen your abs. The best ab exercise to do to strengthen your lower back is alternating leg lifts. So legs flat on the ground, one leg up and down. One leg up and down. You can actually do this really slowly too. Again, don't do it if it hurts, but you want to alternate. Now, this one you can do more than 8 to 10 times because it's a really easy exercise, but it depends on your strength level. Do it to a point where you're feeling it in your abs. If you're feeling any pain in your lower back, you've done it too many times, but do it until you're feeling it in your lower abs. Okay, this last exercise is probably my favorite. It's a version of a squat. Remember, if you're ever going to do a squat, that you want to really sit back. So you can squat like this, but see how my knees are coming way too forward? That's really bad for your knees. So sit back so that your knees don't come over your toes and you're really protecting them, and that really helps work your legs in a much more efficient way. So I have an exercise band. I'm going to lay it on the floor. I'm going to step on one end. My feet are a bit wider than shoulder width apart, but shoulder width apart is fine too. I'm going to give it a nice tightness. I'm going to actually hook that band on the inside of my knee and my elbow. See, it's nice and tight and this side's really loose. Now I'm in a good squatting position. I'm going to move up and push away. So I'm working my legs, but I'm working my upper body at the same time. Again, remember that cross-planar type movement that's really good for your body. Our bodies are meant to move in dynamic ways. When you go to the gym and you do a chest exercise that's just in one plane, or a back exercise that's just in one plane, it can build strength, but it's not going to help train those tiny little muscles that work alongside your vertebrae, for example, or alongside your shoulders, that can get tweaked and pulled and cause you enormous amounts of pain when not strengthened. So doing cross-planar exercises like this can really help prevent a lot of pain. And this this is a great one for helping prevent low back pain. All right, thanks very much for joining us today. At the end, I'll show you how to get in touch with us. And if you have any questions or comments, please email, give us a call, or just make a comment in the video section. And thank you so much. Have a great day.